Hey guys, and welcome back to some more Factorio sending supporters to space. And we are here up by the science. I've actually done quite a lot of work off camera here. I did stream yesterday where I did most of this, so if you want to check that out, you can either watch the VOD on my Twitch or I did upload it to YouTube last night, so you can check it out. Either way, so here's what we have. I think it looks pretty darn cool. So over here we have high-tech science, which most of these aren't actually built. The blueprints are down, but I purposely didn't build them in case I needed to move them or something. I didn't want to like rebuild everything. So here is high tech and purple. High tech we actually need to modify. That's part of what I want to do this episode. I made a mistake on the original build, which we need to modify, which hopefully shouldn't be too hard. And then purple, this guy is actually normal engines, and then he outputs around here and goes out this way to go to blue science, and then also outputs up top to red engines, which are going to come around and hook in up here for purple. And then these are the input stackers here for purple and high tech. And then these are the output stackers. So this is the one for the pot trains, which this rail goes up, and they're going to come in here because we're actually putting the labs up in the lake up there. And then yeah, so this comes down, hooks in for the other pot trains. This is going to be the input for the labs that goes through the water, which is going to be pretty cool. And then output for these packs, which go down into the right again to go to labs. And then over here, I kind of wanted to spread it out right. So there's purple and high tech to the right of these main junctions, and then to the left is red, green, blue. So here's blue. Again, the blueprint's down. The build itself isn't fully built, just in case I need to move it. Some of it's built because I had my bots on when I didn't want to, and they kind of just went crazy. But input here, output for both of these is kind of, I really like these like bird stackers, I guess is what you could call them. They're really, really cool, and doing it like this works pretty well. There is this crossover here, which normally wouldn't be ideal, but this isn't super high throughput. Like, it's just packed, you know, science pack trains, and there's not that many of them, and they're not coming in and out like every 30 seconds or something. So it won't be that big of a problem. And then we have another set of these bird stackers over here for the input for green and input for red here. And then the red is going to output this way, and I'm just going to hook it into here. I don't want to throw yet another junction down here just for that, because that's like way excessive. Even this is excessive, a full junction just for the input for blue, but it was worth it for the cool factor. So today we're going to hook this guy in over here. That should just take a couple minutes. We're going to modify the high-tech build over here, and then if we have time, I'd like to try to place down the low density and rod control unit builds, which I think we're going to have to go over here. I originally planned to have them here, but the science just like didn't really, it was bigger than I thought essentially, so it won't fit here. So these have to go over here. So let's go ahead and hop in the helicopter just to kind of get over there, and we'll start from the stacker obviously, and then we'll just hook in. They only need to go south, right? You know, the packs obviously don't need to go up to the input for the materials for red, so they only need to go south, so it's a pretty easy hook in. And I'm just bringing him over here. I will take out the rest of the rail that is in here, and there we go. So just curve these guys down a bit like this. There we go. And we don't want it like super close here. Maybe like kind of in the midpoint-ish would be good. So I think what we're gonna do is, if we go ahead and do that, we could actually probably just use our two... Oh wait, no, that's 3 spacing. I will actually probably want 3 spacing. So how I had it initially... Sometimes I forget that I did 3 spacing for these. Let's see. Actually, this could start like here. And then we'll make a turn. And by the time we make the turn, we'll probably be about where we want to be. Maybe even too far. We'll have to see here. It's going to go... that's about right, I think. That's probably fine. Right? Yeah, it'll hook. Yeah, it's about perfect. Okay, so gonna do that, and let me just make sure that is the input. That is the input for stacker. That's the output. Okay, hop back in helicopter. So we're getting really close. The things left to do are I have a list here. I wrote like on my phone to keep track of what the hell I need to do. So we need to add fuel, stations and stuff for the steel. We need to add a ton of trains, which is probably going to be the most time-consuming thing. I'll do that off camera. And then we need to do the rocket control unit and low density structure builds, the rocket silos themselves, the labs, and that's about it, actually. Alright, so what's the chances? None. Alright. I guess we'll just do this freehand from this point forward. Okay, so let's throw another signal over here, though, just to match it, and then come over here. So this guy, again, he does not need to go up, right? So actually what I'm going to do is just clear a few of these trees. I should have cleared them, but I ran out of nukes. So we're just going to clear some of these trees here, just so it's a little bit cleaner to tie this in. So this is the input here. So this guy needs to cross over, of course, is right smack into the power pole every damn time. I know I got rid of the red-green wire. We aren't really using that right now for these things. I can always hook it back up if need be. So he's gonna go like that, and then this one also needs to hook in somehow. So bad at like tying this in correctly. Okay, so those are the inputs. That is going to go... yeah, actually, we do want to do this. So boom, 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 and then one after that, and then another one like that should do it, hopefully. I could force it onto just one lane, actually. If I wanted to, we wouldn't have to hook into both. Let me look at how these are tied in. I mean, it can choose either lane. I could force it to way back here where these merge. I could force it to only choose one lane if I want, which may make this a little cleaner. Trying to think. Because this guy goes there to there. It doesn't really matter, I guess. I can always change it. Like, stuff like this is pretty easy to change. I'm not going to try to be, like, too finicky right now, just because I kind of want to get this done, and I don't want to, you know, spend, like, an extra 30 minutes trying to decide something that I can fix later if it doesn't work, when it may just work now how I have it. So, let's go ahead and tie that in, and then you're going to come out to here one more, and go into there. And then, same dealio, so signal before merging, and before there, and here, and we do want to favor the output, so we're going to normal signal this, I think. Merge, 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 good. These may be slightly excessive, but I think it's okay. Let's tie this power in. We probably don't need it, but redundancy for power is never a bad idea. So there we go. That's hooked in. I mean, it's kind of off because there's like no other cross rails here, but I mean, it would just be really kind of dumb, in my opinion, to have a whole nother one of these junctions just for the pot input for red, and it would interfere with this, so we'd have to either move this one or scooch the other one over here. I mean, this looks kind of odd, honestly. It does actually look kind of weird, having it like boxed in like that. Whatever. We can fix it later. Like I said, something like that is easy enough to fix even once it's running, because it's literally just a matter of tearing up these rails, and we could just turn it this way or something and have it hook in over here. Which, really, I mean, we could just do. But I think for now, I just kind of want to have it hooked in one way or the other. So let's go fix the high tech. Now, what that's going to entail is essentially what I did is, I'm surprised no one pointed this out. I'm actually really surprised you guys didn't point this out. I don't know if you just forgot to, or you weren't paying attention, or you knew and just wanted to wait and see when I would figure out I screwed up. But I forgot that high techs actually take 4 input materials. And I only put, crap. I only put 3 input stations. So we need to add an extra input station. Yeah, they can go ahead and build that, that's fine. So we need to add an extra input station, because, right, we need to put copper in, speed modules, batteries, and processing units. So that's 4 input stations, and then the output station. So it's going to be pretty big, bigger than I'd like, but we'll see. There's we could kind of do it with shared stations with some smarts and like waiting areas, but that is a huge pain and would require moving a lot. So we're gonna try it this way first, and if this does not work, then we'll have to modify it. So my plan here is, if you bear with me here, my plan is to turn off our bots because I don't want them building something I'm about to tear up. Is we blueprint the top half like that. We then deconstruct the entire top half. I will actually need to turn my bots on for this, and they're going to build the bottom half, but that's fine. And then we'll just stick the rail on up top. Doing anything on the bottom wouldn't work really because, well, it kind of would. We'd have to like move the whole input thing, and we'll see how this works. Bots are not going to be too happy, but I think it should be okay. So essentially what we need to do is just simply add, I have so many blueprints at this point, it's a little bit ridiculous. If I simply just take this, like that, we just need to add another one of these. It's literally just as simple as that. Like that. Again, because it's going to be an unload, we still want the load where it is, and we still want the two high throughput things, the blue circuits and copper in the middle here. And then one of these will be batteries, one will be speed modules. Doesn't really matter since they're both used in the same quantities, but that's kind of how that's going to work. I mean, I could maybe put load in here. I may switch these around, actually. I may want load in here, and then one of the outputs, one of the unloads here, and one of the unloads here, rather than the load way at the bottom. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that. But that's easy enough to change without moving track or anything. That's just moving some chests. Screw you, game. I want to hook into the... Sometimes it's rail planner, man. Alright. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to have to move these a little bit. Like so. A train obviously still way fits in here. I mean... So... Get that, and then this guy... I think needs to just go like... that? Oh no, sorry. Hold up. What the hell am I doing? Okay, so just to double check, I like double checking this, so that turns out red, but he can still go. That's good, good, good. That should work. And yeah, I may change my mind about where I want the load and unload. I'll have to think about that for a little bit, but that's pretty much that. And then now we can just take this top bit, line up the robo ports. It better fit. Oh, that's close. I do have landfill if it didn't, but it does. So there we go. Simple change. I like whacked myself on the head when I remembered that. It's one of those things that just comes to you like out of nowhere. I don't know what. I was like getting ready for bed or something. Like absolutely nothing to do with Factorio. And I was just like standing there, and then I'm like, oh shit, I screwed up high tech. Like just out of nowhere, it just came to me, and I'm glad it did, because I'm happy we figured this out now rather than after I turned it on and realized that it can't actually do anything because it's missing an input. That would be unfortunate. Okay, so there's that. Let's go dump off this crap in our inventory, get some more rail and stuff, and see what we can do about figuring out where we're going to place low density and control units. So, down this way. We will be removing the helicopter mod here once I'm done building stuff. It's just, it makes it, darn it. It makes it just so much easier to like get around to these builds where there's not actually pack stations yet or anything. But once we get everything built, then we can slowly add in pack stations, and I'll get rid of the helicopter mod because it is a little bit cheaty maybe, and it does take, like, as I've mentioned before, I mean, it's taking 0.2 and sometimes 0.3 update time by literally just existing. Even when I'm not in a helicopter, it takes that. And I mean, that's not a small amount. I mean, it is a small amount, but like, with that amount, I mean, that's, you know, maybe like a circuit build or something worth. You know, so that's definitely something that we want to free up if possible. So much wood here. I'm glad we have this little Bernie thing up here. I'm requesting 1,000 rail. Probably actually want more than that. I was mentioning on my stream yesterday that, like, something that I feel should kind of be a thing is having the bots prioritize emptying your trash slots over fulfilling your requests. Would kind of make sense to me, because what's happening now, right, is they're going to, like, fill up my inventory. Well, maybe not now, but it does happen a lot where they'll try to fill up my inventory with my requests, but they can't. My inventory gets full, and then they just sit there because it's full of stuff that needs to be trashed, which isn't going to the trash slots because the trash slots are full and they're not emptying them. So I think it would be really, really nice if the bots would prioritize emptying any trash slots you have with stuff in them before trying to fulfill your requests. It would kind of make sense in my mind. You know, you want to empty out the junk before you resupply the person. We don't need 14 bots at the moment. Get rid of those. Oh, they're all busy doing something over here. Alright, come on, guys. Empty out all the crap. Let's go. Alright. Zip on over here. Got another steel outpost. No, don't fly over that. I need to clear those anyway. Those were just my templates. And I did fix issues. I do want to mention, you guys pointed out on Discord and in the comments some issues. Much appreciated. I did read through those. That, like, the red science build, we're missing some requesters on the edges. I did fix that. Some of the speed module build, actually, which was placed a long time ago, it had like double inputs and no outputs. I fixed that. And also the high tech, I believe, or purple. I think it was the purple packs for missing productivity modules, and I got all those in there. So I did read through all those comments and fix what you guys had mentioned. So again, thanks for that, because I probably wouldn't have noticed until later. Alright, so we're going to zip down here. Yeah, there's really, I mean, I suppose we could, like, run a rail up and put them up here, but I'd rather just kind of stick them over here. Now, we don't have any nukes, so clearing out these biters could be an issue, potentially. We have ammo, and if it's a smaller base, it's not like that, though. You can't really, those worms will just wreck our helicopter. It's not really a damage thing on our part that's the problem. It's more of just these worms just absolutely shred through the helicopter. I need to just deliver some more explosives to the enemy, but... so the plan, I believe, was to... like, turn... actually probably do this now, is like turn this into a T-junction that goes down and then have the rail like extend out a bit and then make a turn up and go to low densities and control units. I am actually tempted to put a rail here and put them up here, but that's kind of weird, like just randomly a build up top. And they could go across into the lake, but I feel like having them over here is just going to be a bit better. And I mean, the build itself, the builds would fit in here probably, but like the stackers won't or anything, so I think we kind of need to do it this way. So let's see. I believe if I tear up that. Thanks, game. Every time I want to do something, it autosaves for me. Alright. Some trains are going to be upset for a minute. Now, lining this T-junction up is going to be interesting. So he needs to line up. Oh, it's so close. It's not on grid. The grid doesn't really exist anymore on this map. It's just fine. We're not creating grand loops or anything, so it doesn't really matter. Like, this map is definitely the strangest one I've ever done with rails, because there's literally, like, every single direction for rails here. We have, like, right-hand drive, most of it, and in some places it's, like, left-hand drive, kind of. And then there's, like, dual-hand drive on the PAX lanes for ore, and the ore has like 2 outputs and 1 input. It's really kind of convoluted, but it works. It's just, it's like, you know, I think using a grid is kind of gone by the wayside a bit. So there's that. This is, we'll just get rid of some of these signals. Definitely don't need double signals like that. Since it's missing them on this side, we'll just take those off. Should be good to go there. So that works, I would assume. I guess if we start finding out there's no trains going somewhere, then it doesn't. But then we can make a turn. We actually almost want to make a turn immediately. This may actually be a little bit far out. I kind of like the builds in here. It could always go back. Now we could have T-junction, we could have left this turn here and T-junction like in here, but that's really close. I think what I'm going to do, actually, as I said, the thing with the grid has kind of gone by the wayside. So just to try to give ourselves a little bit more room here, just do that. Now again, double signals, not really intentional. Come on. Select the frickin' signal, dude. Oh, I'm an idiot. No wonder. It's not a logistics chest. Oh dear. Okay, so yeah, this is a little bit farther out than I would have liked, because this guy is going to come up to about here, but we do need room for the builds and stackers and stuff, and then they'll just zip over to the lake. It's still, like, for trains on rocket fuel, it's still like a really short jaunt, honestly. And the reason, because some people asked on my stream, the reason that we're building the like control units and low density structures way over here by the silos and having to have the like steel for the low densities transferred from literally the entire opposite side of the map is because of train and in stack size density, right? So steel plate stacks the same as iron and copper at 100, which means that in a 363 you can fit 24,000 steel plate, right? Whereas the rocket parts, the low densities and control units stack in tens, so that in a train, a 360 train, you can only fit 1,600 of them. That's less. That's like less than a tenth of the amount, right? So it's better to have the higher stacking thing, the higher density thing, the 24,000 steel traveling across the thing than putting, like, originally I was going to put the control units and low densities like by the steel, right, and just go direct in, but you would need so many trains to transport enough of those materials when you can only fit 1,600 in a train. You would need so many trains to actually like keep the silos running at 4 per minute when traveling that distance. So that's why we're doing it this way, is because it just works way better for the trains. Hopefully these guys don't decide to attack a rail. I need to go get some explosives and stuff. But yeah, if we, let's see, we can get rid of that. Trying to clear out my blueprints, can get rid of that one. It's a furnace build, which we already have down, get rid of that one. Okay, so if we grab, actually I may already have those builds in my inventory. If I do indeed. Okay, so we need 2 of each of these. Yeah, so these are pretty big builds. Actually leaving this amount of space is probably good. Now we could actually stick them in here, potentially. We could just like turn this again and do like horizontal stacker or something and stick them in here. This coal's a little bit in the way. But this is going to need quite a few. This needs plastic too, which actually works really well because the plastic comes from. Actually, the plastic's going to be local, my bad. One plastic build is going to be like the red circuit, so the plastic's going to be in between. But that's still really good because the petroleum comes from down here, so it can just zip up straight into here and go. Rocket fuel. There was some discussion, the Zion team, about moving it. I really don't want to move it because this thing's like full. We can go deliver explosive. We may not get these plays because we need to clear biters and stuff, but I'm pretty happy with what we got accomplished. I mean, high-tech build is fixed and done. The green build, or red build, is tied in. All the science builds are essentially done. I just need to fly over them with a ton of materials, essentially. And that's most of it, really. Most of the other stuff, honestly, the thing that's going to take the longest, I think, is getting all the trains in. Even with the automatic train deployment mod, it still takes a little while. And then there's like some trains where you just have to place them manually. So it's going to take a little bit, but I do think that next episode we should have the thing running. I was just going to not even record an episode now and just like kind of just grind away at it and have have this episode essentially be turning on the base, but I figured you guys would maybe be a little upset by going from where we were last episode to just boom, everything's on. So I did want to kind of throw in an episode in between here to show the progress we've made and what's left to do, and you know, fix a few things just so you kind of know what's happening a little bit more, I guess, behind the scenes in a way. So we have 520 explosives. That's like 50-something nukes, right? They take 10 apiece, I think. Yeah. Drop these off. We don't have any explosives made in the ME because it requires water, and there's like, well, there's water here, but at this point, it's easy enough to just transport the nukes in, or explosives. So let's go ahead and trash all those. Get rid of the wood and stone. Nope, those were assemblers. I meant the wood. Oh well, they'll resupply me. They pretty much did instantly. So there we go. Nuke should kick on, and let's see what time we're at. We're at 26 minutes. This is a good place to stop, guys. I hope you enjoyed and are looking forward to next episode when everything should be on if all goes well. Made a ton of progress. I'm really liking how this looks. And like I said, all that's left is low density with the plastic, rock control units, the rocket silos, labs, and then just adding trains pretty much. So hopefully I can get that done today if I work pretty efficiently. But that's going to do it. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'd love to hear any thoughts you have down in the comments, and if you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like. But until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.